Hey, I'm so excited to get to share my story with you today. And I probably grew up a lot like you did. Mom and dad at home. I had a brother and a sister. My mom kept a very clean house. She used bleach. She used Pine Sol. She used scrubbing bubbles, you know, the one in the can with the green lid. She used that. She used Pledge for dusting. I mean, those were the norms in our house. And it was not clean until it smelled clean. And it smelled like one of those products. So when I grew up and I was an adult and I was out on my own and I was buying my own cleaning products, what did I buy? I bought the exact same things my mom bought. I bought bleach. I used scrubbing bubbles. I used Pledge. I used Pine Sol. All the same things that she used, I used as well. And then I got married, and my husband had 2 little boys. And so in the beginning, I didn't really think much of what I was using, but as I grew as a stepmom and learned more, and as the boys got a little bit older, I started to think, hey, I'm probably not making the best choices. Surely there are some safer options out there. And at the time, I really didn't find anything on the shelves that were better, healthier, cleaner options. And so I bought a few things online, trying to make better choices for the boys, trying to have more of an impact in our lives and get rid of some of those toxins. And I didn't really understand a lot of that at the time. I just knew that I wasn't making good choices and I wanted to make better choices. So fast forward a few years, and then we have our own little ones. And then my desire to have healthier options really got ramped up at that point. And so I started looking at the things that we were eating. We started eating a little bit healthier. I started to kind of want to make more and more better choices. Is that a word? More and more better choices. Anyway, and so as the kids came along, you know, more kids came along, my choices got better and better. And so then I had a friend who was posting on her Facebook and sharing about essential oils. And so I had recently gone to the doctor with my little boy, and the doctor wanted to put him on a medicine, basically every day, a daily medicine. And I started thinking, gosh, I really just don't want to do that if we can avoid it. If we can make some choices that are better preventatively, and not have to follow up with a medicine, that's what I want to do. And so I started kind of reading and researching about what my friend was doing, and at that point joined Young Living. And so in the beginning, all that I purchased really mostly were oils. They come in bottles like this. And that's really kind of how I got started. I started with a premium starter kit. It came with a diffuser. It came with 11 oils, kind of the more common oils. And I just started really using those things. So at that point, I wasn't really too concerned with any other products really in the house, just trying to use oils for to kind of support our health and wellness and just kind of keep us healthy. And so I managed to kind of put off all that the doctor wanted to do with my little boy by making better choices at our home. And at that point, we started to kick out chemicals in cleaning products. So I started to replace the cleaning products that we were using with cleaning products from Young Living, and started noticing a difference. And I feel like we were kind of going along good for probably a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, using the oils, making better choices for our family. I started to maybe kind of look a little bit at things we were eating and make better choices as far as, you know, snacks we were buying for the kids, things like that, you know, drinking a little bit less soda. But then I kind of had one of those things where I kind of hit the wall, and probably all of you have been in that place at some point or another where you've really hit a wall. And it's different for everybody. For me, I was walking around my kitchen one day, cleaning up. I think my kids were doing school, we homeschool, and I felt like I was having a heart attack. I started to have a pain in my back between my shoulder blades. It kind of radiated down my arm. It went up my neck into my jaw. My teeth were hurting, and I thought, oh my goodness, this is it. I'm having a heart attack. I am, you know, in my early 40s, and I'm going to sit here and have a heart attack in front of my kids. I called 911. I called my husband. He had gone to run an errand, and so I called him. He turned around to come back, but I called 911. I opened my back door. I sat down in a chair where they could see me when they came in the back door. I sent all of my kids into the living room. I told my oldest daughter, I think I'm having a heart attack. I've called 911. I've opened the door. They're going to let themselves in when they get here. You keep everybody occupied in here. And just the sheer look of terror in her eyes was horrifying to me as a mom, to have to sit and tell her that I thought I was having a heart attack. And I thought, one, I hope I survive. Two, I don't want this to take place in front of my children. And so, long story short, 911 comes, the EMT comes, they hook me up to whatever that machine is called, they check my heart, everything looks great. And so they agreed not to take me to the emergency room if I will follow up with my primary care doctor. So the next week, I called my primary care doctor, followed up with him. He sent me to a cardiologist. And so I went to the cardiologist, expecting them to tell me I had something horrific wrong with my heart. And they basically said, yeah, your heart looks great, super healthy. You don't have any of the risk factors for a heart attack. And so I thought, okay, well, what is it then? And so it turned out it was something crazy called esophageal spasms. I'd never heard of that. And basically when you have those spasms, it triggers the same nerves in your body that are triggered when you're having a heart attack. So even though I wasn't having some sort of life-altering cardiac issue, that was a huge wake-up call for me. And the wake-up call was, I want to be here for my kids. I have 7 little ones still at home. We have our 2 older boys that are out of the house. And I thought, you know what? I want to be here to raise them. I want to be here to see them graduate high school and college. I want to be here to see them get married. I want to be here to hold my grandbabies and snuggle them and rock them and take them to the park and the zoo and read books to them. I want to be here for all of that. And so for me, it was like, okay, we've been using Young Living for a while. We're members, but we're going to get serious about this. I started making changes to our diet, started cutting out things that were not healthy, started researching and reading, and realized that Young Living had so many products that fit into this new lifestyle that I was searching for. I was able to swap out my laundry detergent. I was able to swap out my toothpaste. I was able to swap out all of the cleaning products that I had before for just one cleaning product that Young Living makes. I was able to start to take supplements that supported my health and my body that I had been doing none of before. And so all of those changes, small little easy changes over time, it wasn't something that I did all at one time. I just kind of made changes as I went, but the end goal was to be here for my family, to be here to raise my children, to be the best version of me that I could be, because I had felt like I was not the best me, and had not been for a long time. I was overweight. I needed to lose weight. My cholesterol was a little elevated, and the doctor had told me even if I continued to eat terrible food, if I would just lose a little weight, my cholesterol would come down. And so I knew for me at that point that I was going to be serious about making the changes that I needed to make for my family. And I also wanted my kids to know that there was a better way, that I didn't want them to grow up thinking, hey, we have to treat the symptoms and we can't get to the root of the problem. I wanted them to make better choices and to know that from the time they were little. Just like when I learned from my mom to use things like bleach and Pine Sol and scrubbing bubbles, and I just replicated that when I was out on my own. I wanted to teach my children better so that when they got out on their own, they made better choices. And for us, Young Living has done that. It's just made it an easy, convenient way to make better choices. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to read every label. I don't have to do any more research. I know that Young Living is looking out for my best interest, and they're making a quality, clean product, plant-based products that I can purchase for my family. And really, looking forward, I'm thinking, gosh, this is so much easier. I'm not having to scour the shelves and look at the ingredients on products anymore. I'm able to just grab something from Young Living when I place an order and know that it's just got to get delivered to my house, and it's a good quality product, and I don't even have to think twice about it. And the thought that my children are going to grow up making better choices for their children, for my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren, to know that I'm doing the best that I know how to do, that I can do to live a long, healthy life, to keep myself around so that I can raise my babies and be here for my family. I wouldn't trade that for the world. And the great thing is that it's easy for you to do as well. It's not something complicated. Like I said, I joined. The membership is kind of like a Costco or a Sam's membership. You get your membership kit. It starts you off with a diffuser and 11 oils, 11 of the most common oils that people use. Super easy. It's not anything that you've got to have some sort of a degree to do. You know, I'm not an aromatherapist. I just kind of learn as I go. I bought a good research reference book, and I pop that thing open and flip to the back and look up, you know, whatever I need to learn about, and just learn and keep going forward. I teach that to my kids. I teach that to my husband. My husband has, you know, probably some days does better than I do. As far as making good choices, and he's taught me a lot of things too, and so now when my kids have an issue or they're struggling with something, you know, the first thing they do is run over to our little oil section over on the wall, and ask what oil to use. I mean, good grief, how awesome is that? You know, they're not running to the medicine cabinet looking for a pill. They're looking for a plant-based product, something that God gave us to use. And so, you know, I want that for you too, not just for my family, but I want it for other families. I love that about Young Living. I love that their mission is to get oils into every home. And what a difference that would make. You know, I'm already impacting my children and my grandchildren, and you can do the same with yours. So I'd love to chat with you more about it. Just give me a holler and let's get you started.